How does it feel
Mhm.
to officially be a Pan Am record?
Uh, I, I don't know if it really fully hit me yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I can tell you it's unreal. Like on the last, like every lift, they were like, "Oh, this is a Pan Am record for the squat," and I'm looking at my handler, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm arguing with her. I was like, "Yo, this is definitely not a record." She's like, "I'm looking at the records on the thing."
Yeah.
So at the scoring table,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "It's a record." So I was like, "Okay, mom." Like I jokingly called her mom. So every lift was like squat, secured that record.
Yeah.
Bench, secured that record.
Yeah.
Deadlift, secured that record. And then it wasn't just like for the um, open class, which I competed in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just I broke records in just the Masters one class. I also broke the record for the deadlift and the total for the open class.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's 6 records, and it's been a long process,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm just like, yo, I'm a like my name is in history.
Yeah.
So,
Forever. It's
right.
been a history for a couple other things, but
yeah,
but that's huge.
Yeah, no.
That's huge. After bombing at your meet 2 years ago,
Ooh,
in the very same place,
the very same place, the
very same exact place, what was your mindset going into it this year?
I gotta go back to the place of the failure.
Mm.
I remember after the first bench, I sat there. I sat there for a while, picked up my stuff and left. There was 3 people that called me, and they knew what that moment meant for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I couldn't figure out what was going on that year. Like, I worked so hard at nationals,
Right.
and I'm like, I didn't understand. So, and then coaching wise for Kane, I was like, yo, this is a spot I never want my team to feel as an athlete,
Yeah.
right? So I said, I'm coaching from a loss, not just athletically, just felt like I lost as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I poured my soul and things like that. So I was like, how do I coach from this space,
Yeah.
build from this space, and go from there? So I decluttered, right? I think that was probably the quietest I think I've been in terms of socially.
Yeah.
As Danielle, there's things I posted. Time and Talks was there was some strong lessons that posted, but I think that was just quiet space. I decluttered, then I recognized distractions and detractors.
All right.
So I realized who were the detractors.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, hey. So I started decluttering the audience that was in like around me, that wasn't for plight, growth,
All right.
purpose, Danielle.
All right.
Boom. So, 2024, after that spring semester coaching, which was a very successful first season of coaching for track and field, and for at post nationals, the athletes that I had compete at nationals was very successful. I was like, yeah, there's something deeper. So I just went quiet, right? And I just really focused on this process.
Mm-hmm.
And then had an opportunity to compete bench worlds. Did well. That was a gamble. My coach, I owe a lot to Mike.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that was like, yo, he messaged me. He was in the same room 2 years ago.
Okay.
And he messaged me. He was like, don't quit.
All right.
And he said, if I have somebody on my team that can help coach you, they will. I did just not think that he would be the one that was going to coach me.
Yeah, so he was the one to coach that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I saw him
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago. He looked at me after I just sat there and didn't take my second lift.
Yeah.
And that spurred us working together. And he was like, shoot your shots. So we decided he was like, you should try all styles of powerlifting, equipped and raw.
No.
So he was like, shoot it. So I had the 2 qualifications for bench equipped World Championship,
Mm-hmm.
and same thing for Open, the Open equipped. So I did, first year ever in that equipment, and that was a risk because we haven't had much practice because I had very bad anxiety and panic attacks.
No.
That was locking my shoulders, so I couldn't train
Mm.
bench. I could train everything else, but I couldn't push or pull.
Yeah.
So I told him, and he was like, "See what happens." I was like, "I'm gonna just see where it goes." I figured out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then we were good. Never anticipated that fifth place was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yo," I said, "We have to have a meet where I have all the equipment," and I was like, "Fuck it, we shoot for the world."
Yeah.
Like we go to World Championship, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So- And it panned out well. And I was like, "Yo, there's a lot." I said, "All right, you're not the bomb out."
Right.
So I started decluttering all the places that I failed at,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to nationals this year. I went to bench worlds, and I was like, "Yo, nah, there's something there,
Yeah.
right?" So I just went to town. You were there at some of the sessions.
Yeah.
It was cool because most of the athletes saw me work.
Yeah.
That process, but not understand what was really
Yeah, what was really
Really
going
going
on,
on,
but they
right?
seen you
They
putting
see
that
me-
work
they
throughout.
see me-
Yeah.
work. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But this was something that I needed. I was like, it was supposed to be in a different place, but it went back to the place of failure.
Mm-hmm.
So I said,
It's not a coincidence.
so I said,
Not a
"Coach,"
coincidence.
I
yeah.
told my coach at the Bench Worlds, I said, I said, "I know you know how much this Bench Worlds meant,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think you understand how much it going back to the place of failure
Yeah.
means to me."
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "I'm trekking," right? That's all he said.
Yeah.
And he said, "This means something to both of us." And when I tell you that man, like I'm pretty close with my coach. That's my dog. That's my
Mhm.
mentor. But when I tell you that man, we were on it. We were on it.
Yeah.
And when he saw me, deadlift, the 480s consistently,
Mhm.
he was like, I said, I misloaded the weight at first
Yeah.
because I was just hyped. And he was like, I said, "I know, crazy, right?" And I kept doing it. So
Right.
he was like, he gave me the meat card. He said, "The biggest thing to maximize the total is just flex the plan when needed."
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, I went there, I went to the competition room, and it's the same setup. Went to the warm-up room, it was the same setup with
Everything
the same
exactly the
blue
same.
chair that I sat in when I failed.
Right.
So I said, and I looked, and I was like, yeah, and I was just praying over the space, and I said, "God, the same Danielle can't happen."
Mm-hmm.
The next day before the competition, my coach and I, we talked, and we went over the game plan, like separate game plans,
Right.
and he said, because we knew that my opener was going to break the open deadlift record in the total.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't tracking the Masters one's records, right? So we were just, so when we're tracking, the next day I woke up at 6 o'clock. I put in the story, the place of deficits will become the place of deposits. Don't know why I said that,
Right.
but I just had a feeling. Going in there, going in my warm-up, hit my first, hit my second, third squat, record. Bench, PR, record.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlift comes. I text my coach, finally hit the daggone bench PB.
Right.
Instead of tying it, godly. So he was like, "It's go time." The lift, right? The opener flew up.
Yeah.
Like it just 440 flew. Then 460 flew. My handler was like, "Shoot for the shit." He
Yeah.
said, go 5. So that's what we did.
Loaded up 40
Oh,
extra
yeah,
pounds. Just threw that on there.
and
Just said, okay.
it went up,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sitting there, I'm locking it out, and then the ref called down. I made sure I went down, controlled. I looked, and it was like all white lights, new Pan Am record,
Uh-huh.
M1
Yeah.
total and open total. I walked off that thing crying. And the crazy thing is that the same people, some of the same competitors were there 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they knew. They came to the hallway and just tapped me, hugged me.
Yeah.
But I had my teammate Chandler. She came to surprise me, to support me, because she also had a rough 2023, and we were just holding each other accountable. And she said, because we were sending videos back and forth to each other, and she was there, and I just lost it on her. And she was telling me, she's like, "Yo, you did what you said you were coming to do.
You said you was going to do."
I just wanted the 2 records, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to be 6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As big as it was, yeah.
Yeah, so standing on a podium and listening to the national anthem of my home, the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, I broke. 2 years. The place of deficit became the place of deposit. So, yeah.
Okay. With all that being said, what went into this? Mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that?
Honesty.
Okay.
Honesty.
Yeah?
You got to be honest with yourself. And there were some things that God was trying to reveal when I was trying to romanticize. Right? So what do I mean? There were some people that did not deserve to be in that space. And God was showing me that, but I was trying to romanticize them because of the who and what they were to me. Right? Because not everybody is supposed to be in certain seasons of your life.
Yeah.
Right? And not everybody and everything should have access to the most personal things in your life. And your training and your preparation is the only place where you can be authentically you.
Yeah.
Right? When you can bring your angry self, your joyful self, your hurt self, and just work on yourself. That training space, that is the space that you can just come in as you are. Outside home, right? But you get to work on that training space. You just get to work and cultivate and grow you. So mentally was being honest, and then emotionally was moving those people, right? Because you don't realize there are certain people that are in your life that are killing you, right? And are draining you from you, or preventing you from you being you,
Right.
Or stalling you from being you, you know, because it wasn't just my training spaces, it was what I was bringing into my training spaces as well. Like my old base, we already know I was not the easiest space, probably the most toxic space I've ever been in, right? But I carried that into my training.
Right.
That was a distraction.
Okay.
Right? I had to stop training at my bases, like at my old base. I had to stop training just because the problem for me was there. So I couldn't be effective training because they knew where I was at.
Yeah.
So there was not a safe space for me to train.
Yeah.
Unless I waited past 5 o'clock or go before 6 o'clock.
Right.
That's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Right? So but emotionally it was the people, because when God was revealing the who to me, I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But then when you ask God to reveal and remove,
All right.
that's the fastest prayer.
Yeah.
So he was showing me, I said, oh, then he was showing me the build up to that and the why.
All right.
So that was hard because I never thought there would be people that I was like, I've always been there for, that I was like, yeah, who I thought was there for me because I was down. And, you know, like how certain people prey on you when you're down, not P-R-A-Y, P-R-E-Y,
Yeah.
down on you because you're in that down position. So there are certain people that I come to know that because I was down and they were there for me and it looked like they were making moves, they weren't making moves. They were making moves for them to use me to, I'll give you an example, write a letter of recommendation for their job. And they got the job, and once they got the job, they discarded me.
Yeah.
I didn't get talked to. You know, and I'm like, man, dude, like, the only reason why you sit in that E9 position is because I wrote your letter of recommendation.
All right.
Right? And it was a glowing letter of recommendation because of what you've done. Not for just for me, but for the organization that I was a part of.
Right.
Cool. So that was a big thing. People just preying on me because they're like, oh, she has access to this. Like, there's friends that I was friends with, who I was friends with, not them being friends with me. Like a girl from high school. You know, I was there for her, but not realizing she was preying on my spaces and trying to get my spaces to enhance her space, right? Which I had no problem if you were just upfront with me. Then once I started growing and start doing the things that I said I was going to do, then there was an issue.
Right.
I was start getting talked to and stuff like that. So emotionally, it was a big piece for me because I didn't realize, like, dang, yo, I didn't think as you get closer to your calling, your circle shrinks.
Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah.
And my circle was already small. But she's like, yeah, no, because what I have for you is not just for you, because I'm calling you to build other things.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to teach them how to build, but teach them it's okay to not have a lot of people. Right. So emotionally, that took a lot of, but then also emotionally for me was being like, it was hard for me because, I came from abusive space to receive love.
Yeah.
But where I received love was crazy. It was from my team.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, it was overwhelming because it was a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So I had to be like, okay, it's okay to love.
Yeah.
And share. Right. So that's for me emotionally and mentally, but spiritually, me and God had to have some conversation. And I said, and when God sat me down, he said, now I got your attention.
Right.
Because sometimes if you try to be, he'll sit you. So he sat me down and he was like, yeah, now I got your attention. It was hard. Right. Because then he was showing me like where I bled myself at. And it was always being that beckoning people's calls that weren't for me necessarily. Right. So he was like, yeah, this is going to be the most isolating, what feels like isolation space so you can grow. Right.
Yeah.
So, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it was just that honesty and that transparency. And then the moving in those two things. Because a lot of times we see it, we just don't move in it. And when I mean move in it, do the work to continue to keep those things honest and transparent.
Yeah.
Right. So the space, the theme for me was 2024, end of 2023, when he really sat me down and was like, before the 2024 year, which I think the timing was crazy, was declutter, move to stand. Right. So declutter your spaces so it's honest and there's no debris blocking you from being you.
Right.
Move in that declutterness so you can stand to be your best self.
Right.
Right. So those are the things that went into just the difference.
How did changing the access in the environment change the process?
Oh, because the process was pure. I didn't have to worry about is my process being sabotaged to who had the access to it. Right. Who am I being my authentic self? Am I trying to focus on the result without focusing on the process? Right. Am I ego training, or am I in my classroom learning? Right. And heart space. Do I feel like I have to live up to an expectation, or am I growing to see me authentically, my strengths, my gift, my calling, and my purpose? Right. Because I never thought that in a sport that is somewhat still new compared to track, and then bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, like I just never thought that I will be able to clearly see those things, just because my maturity level with track at the time, I was young, and yes, when I did have the access to go to, when I qualified for World Games, I was older, right? So it was very different.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with bodybuilding. It came at an older age. So the maturity of handling the weight of training was different. Right. But those things, track, no one's really looking at you when you train. All right. When you start training lifting, that's when people look at you, and then you got some people try to outlift you.
Yeah.
You know, so then I'm like, I'm not here for that. So
Yeah.
I had to stop
okay.
training in commercial gyms for that. And then I trained at Kane. But then even there, I had to change the times just because of work responsibilities. And then, you know, again, all right, who's watching you?
Yeah.
And it's not the kids, right? I'll leave it at that.
We know.
All right, so I'll leave it at that because that's another thing that I'm going to kind of segue into when, you know, time to talk.
Mhm.
But it was just who's watching you and what's their intent in watching you.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, yeah, nah. If I'm trying to be me, I need to have the honest space where I can just be like, yo, this is a bad lift. Or if I could be able to train with the kids at Kane, then I need to be able to be like, okay, this is my volume day, and we can train together because the important part, like the heavier parts, are done in private. Right?
Yeah.
And then I can be authentic with them, help grow them while they push me too, because them kids push me. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came to the open worlds of 2024.
Mhm.
You know, they were like making sure my deadlifts were good. They were like, oh, coach, you training?
Yeah.
And I said, dang, I ain't think, but they held me to the fire. The same fire I held them. They were holding me.
Yeah.
So cool. But as you know, 2025 came, I was like, you know, the 2024, 2025 school year came, the transparency of and the intimacy of the training spaces had to be there. So removing the access to like the who had access to it allowed the training to be intimate,
Right.
where I could see myself, right? Because sometimes when you train with certain people, you can't see yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because who you sit with determines what you see,
Right.
right? And then there was times where I didn't see myself as an athlete or even being good enough because I could tell you from high school and college because of who I was sitting next to.
Yeah.
And because I was never like, no one really thought to put my name in conversations until championship. They were like, oh snap, DT. Or, you know, so even like bodybuilding, when I first got into it, you know, people just didn't factor me in until I stepped on stage and they were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Cool sheet, right?
Overlooked. Right.
Overlooked. But yeah. So it allows me to see like just me, you know, and it's okay to see me. Like there's some training days where I was like, yo, that sucked, right?
Yeah.
But I'm able to see why it sucked, right? It's like, oh, okay, because I didn't do this.
Yeah, you can reflect.
I can reflect it, yeah, and I can be like, okay, I didn't do this right. Looking at videos, I don't have to worry about people walking in and out of my videos. Like, it's just, I can see, I can construct, I can move.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it was just decluttering all that stuff was important for me.
Yeah.
It impacted the training space, but it grew me because I finally saw me without anybody, without any noise, without anything, just Daniel Tom.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it was huge moving the environment, even more so, even bigger than moving the environment, just removing access.
Yeah.
Right. I let the kids see because the kids have to see it's okay just to be by yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
You always have to have a crowd.
Yeah.
Because you are your crowd. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be you by yourself.
Yeah.
When I failed, it was me by myself. I had 4 people call me. 3 called me, and then my 2 that I was rooming with was calling me because they couldn't find me. And I was just like, yeah. Because they knew, like, I could cry about it because they knew how much I worked 2023 to get to a destination. And I just needed a total, and I just needed to hit a total, and I would have had a sponsor that would have paid when I was lost. So people don't know that. Yeah. So there's a lot of backdrop to that. Yeah. So I was like, cool. So I was going to call, the funny thing is I was going to call it quits in powerlifting because I said 3 times, how do I handle my resignation letter?
You was ready to
I was like, I could coach. Yeah. Don't ask me to compete. I'll lead. I'll do whatever you need me to do. But no one answered the question, and then it kind of got roped off the.
Yeah.
And coach was like, don't quit. I got the same. I was like, all right, cool. So when I met coach, you know, he had this thing on on his coaching page. He said, what's your training environment like? And that thing hit me, and that thing sat, and I said, shit, why is this hitting me so hard? Then I was like, all right, it's hitting me hard that I have to write.
Mm-hmm.
And in that writing is when I discovered I had written 4 pages, and I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something here.
It's something here. Yes.
Right.
And then I'm looking at what I wrote, then looking at my before about what's bothering me, what's plaguing me, what's bringing me down, what's keeping me in this state of frame. And there were a lot of similarities. So once I did that, I said, yeah, you're not ruining what God gave me. I'm strong. But who are these people in spaces that you think are your friends, blocking you from seeing you?
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't just, I was like, people, like, as I said, I had to get rid of a high school friend. Like, this girl and I ran track together.
Mm-hmm.
We were known as the dynamic duo in high school, even in college. We ran against each other in college, but we were still pushing each other. We trained together in the summer. Everything she did, and I realized, I said, but there were certain things that she was doing that put me down, right? So I was like, yo, she put me down and is doing the same things I'm doing.
Sorry.
Yo, we could have had a whole thing together,
Yeah.
but if that's what you really wanted, right? But I'm just like, man, then there's people that didn't understand what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about,
Right.
and I was in my coaching space. So it was not everybody in the coaching space, but you have to be careful who walks by to see and not understanding, oh, what is she doing?
Right.
This and this, cool, base, baby. People don't like influence because they confuse influence with popularity. I'm not here to be popular.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to walk in my purpose
Right.
and make purpose popular.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you got a problem with that, God revealed it, right? I stayed in the mire of that base
Mm-hmm.
and still did. And I said, something's coming. Still in the disrespect, still helped, still built, still did this, still did that. But it wasn't until I realized, like, not everybody it's not people that are jealous of you. They're jealous of the impact
Mm-hmm.
of what you do,
Yeah.
right? Especially when it comes to fitness, training, because it is so intimate,
Yeah.
right? Because once you get the person,
Yeah.
it's like I'm getting kids that put blind faith in me for me to take care of them holistically,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a big thing.
It is. It
Right.
is. It is.
That's a huge thing,
It is.
right? Especially where we're at in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially running, because running's hard. So I'm teaching them some things,
Yeah.
but not understanding the impact of that,
Yeah.
right? But when you do fitness, because people are on the base with like, oh, she's this. Well, okay, and I'm the problem. I'm a problem because I'm doing. So people were upset because I was doing. But you put me in a position to build.
Yeah.
You can't build without.
Right.
You're going to have some impact if you build.
Yeah.
That comes with the nature.
Yeah.
But if you want to be lazy and build, don't be mad.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be lazy, right? So changing the access changed me, and putting me in different environments. I said, oh, all right. So Daniel, you were strong, okay? And that's where it hit me that, yo, Daniel, I kind of forgot what my past brought to the table. You know, this is not the first world championship I've been to. This is not the first international. I've been for track and I've been for bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot those things because of, you know what I'm saying? The bombing out, the meat. You know, the people like, oh, fake support, real support,
Right.
right? So it just allows me to be me. I know that in my training space, I'm not being sabotaged because it's me.
Yeah.
It's me and God.
Yeah.
Me and my thoughts, what I'm journaling.
That's
Because,
how it need to be.
right, like I'm journaling after, journaling before. What's my process coming in? How the hell do I feel after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the takeaways? I'll send it. That's it. So that's the difference. Changing the environment allowed me just to be me, and there's no sabotage.
To finish off, what were some lessons you learned throughout this process? The whole
Growth,
thing.
The whole thing. One, the place of deficit does become the place of deposits.
Mm.
You just don't go through it, you grow through it,
Yeah.
right? Fire does not destroy what faith has built. Okay? Fire does not destroy what faith has built.
Right.
Okay? Failure is not the enemy, it's the entry fee. And those are the lessons that I've learned.
Yeah. That's all deep. That's okay. So out of all of those, pick one to unpack. Just one.
That's hard. Fire. I'm gonna pick two.
Okay.
Fire does not destroy what faith has built,
Mm-hmm.
right? And why I say that, because a lot of people come at you. You have a lot of opinions.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of words that people say that might have deterred you, right? Or that might have felt deflating or defeating. But if you stay true to you and you have faith in what you do,
Right.
it's not going to destroy it. Derek. It's going to enhance it, right? I'm living proof.
All right.
And no matter how many people try to overlook, either whether I'm at Kane,
Mm-hmm.
with people who may have doubted me and my abilities to live, definitely in track.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have had my high school coach look at me and told me I would never amount to be anything. Same breath, I got a 2015 invitation to the World Games, right? And who did she have to ask to coach?
All right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, same thing. I was not considered in the bodybuilding world. At first, like, everybody was like saying these two people were gonna win and win and win. And then when I stepped on stage and I started doing my posing, then all of a sudden,
It's like,
oh, that who is she?
right.
Right? So I believe in what I do,
Mm-hmm.
because it chose me.
Right.
And I had a dream when I was 8. I was like, I looked at my mom, said what I said, and she was like, okay, right? And yeah, no matter how many people tried to strike a fire or put me in the fire pit, I ain't come out smelling like smoke.
Right.
It builds something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Failure is not the enemy. And I think that was the thing that I learned from one of the coaches from the coaching staff at RTS was like, failure is really not the enemy, right? In order to appreciate what a victory is, you gotta be on a down. You gotta know what it feels like to hit rock bottom.
Yeah, you got to.
And I didn't think this season. See, people think seasons are short, right? This was a 2-year season. Right, a 2-year season of and that was just not just athletically. This 2-year season of me really coming out of a domestic violence relationship, then dealing with workplace abuse on my old base at the same time. So the seasons were long, and then I lost myself. So rebuilding the season of loss and then the season of rebuild.
Yeah.
Right, so 23 to 24, 24 to 25, right, was the seasons of loss, handling the loss and understanding, like, yo, you're at a loss.
Yeah.
Recognizing that, because you got to be honest. You can't be bitter and vengeful and try to be blessed at the end.
Yeah.
Because those two are contradictory, right? So the seasons were long. Understanding that this is a long season and understanding that success takes time.
Right.
Because everybody thinks that success is instant, right? And I love social media and I don't like social media at the same time because it shows snippets,
Yes.
right? And then you see people frustrated because they don't understand. Success, the hard truth about life, success takes time.
It takes time. There's a process.
There's a process.
That's what you got to follow along with.
And you gotta be okay that success is a process. You gotta be okay that growth is a process.
Mm-hmm.
Think about you. Think about yourself as a baby now.
Mm-hmm.
Think about yourself from high school to now.
Yeah.
How much growth have you stood through? Right? But the hard truth about life is success takes time. Right? But it wasn't the enemy. Because failure is the process.
Yeah.
Failure is part of the process.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? because at some point you have to recognize where was your mindset in that failure,
Yeah.
right?
And that's the only time in which you can grow.
Grow,
Grow
yeah.
through all failure.
And that failure, I had to realize there was a lot of things I was angry because I thought I qualified for Worlds. So I was so angry. I said, yo, what did I go wrong? They didn't go wrong. But in that time too, there was distractions. You know what I'm saying? But it was necessary.
Mhm.
Because I was like, you're carrying so much that's not yours to carry. I was still carrying, and that's what I was changed places from training on base.
Right.
So the only thing I did on base was I made sure I did calisthenics.
Yeah.
And that's what they saw me all the time, was either on the track doing kettlebell work, doing my plyo work, and doing calisthenics.
Right.
They did not see me squat. They did not see me bench. They did not see me deadlift. They saw me doing every other thing, because you're not going to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to have say. So I changed the spaces, and once I changed the spaces, then I was like, okay. Then I changed where I did my primary lifts. Then I was like, oh, okay. So then I realized what I was bringing in. That right there was a huge change, because I didn't have stress.
Yeah.
I didn't have to rush. I didn't have stress. All right. I didn't have people PREYING on me because of what they saw.
Yeah.
Right. But fire cannot destroy what faith has built. And that is, if you pay attention to the Bible, and it talked about being thrown into the pit, you don't come out smelling like smoke, because there's always somebody with you. And if it's your purpose, he ain't gonna let nothing happen to you.
Right.
Right? The other, that was just the big thing,
Yeah.
right? And realizing that I'm not the failure,
Right.
because it was just heavy. Because I was like, yo, everything was failing. That domestic violence relationship took the wind and soul out of me.
Right.
And then being in an abusive workspace on base, where I was supposed to be protected on my own base. I was supposed to be protected. I'm not. And very boldly sitting in, I had a supervisor just not care. It was like, oh, no, if you want leadership, you better be bold.
Right.
You got to do, leadership is doing. So if you're not doing your part as a roof to protect the house, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's not about, because I've been in long, blah, blah, blah. No, what the heck you doing? And what you're going to do. But if you don't do that for me, I already know you ain't doing it for anybody else. Yeah. And there's people that knew, but still didn't do. I'm trying. So I had a very honest conversation with my unit leadership at that time, and I said I had peace with whatever decision I make, because peace is the only environment that's safe and go and grow in. Yeah. Once I said that, and I moved, Danielle Todman, everything shifted. Things got better. Like the quality of work got better for track and cross country. Yep. I was better for the people that needed me to be better, and that was what counted most. Yeah. So I can feed better now, because now I can speak from failure, right? I can speak from success because they watched it, right? And they've seen that no matter what happened, the fire didn't consume me. The fire didn't consume the product. Faith sustained it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the failure wasn't the failure. They're living proof.
Right. Right.
Kane's living proof.
No, seriously.
Because after that cross country 2023, I watched them come together in 24, and there was no way as a first year we came in third at ECACs for the guys. There's no way. Last year it was just ECACs was crazy. I was like, we placed in every single thing, and there was only 2 events we didn't compete in, and it's still coming third and fourth. Girls didn't compete in 5. They still come in third and fourth.
No.
It's crazy. Yeah. Fire cannot consume what faith has built. Right. And the failure ain't the enemy, it's the entry fee.
All right. Prime example with failure not the enemy is the entry fee. Wanted to be head coach at North Tech.
Wouldn't be.
Right. Wouldn't be here. It was the entry fee for King.
It was the entry fee for, yo, I forgot about that. The only coach that was there for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then the year that the person they put over me left, I got hired. And they were like, "Oh, can you interview?" I said, "Oh, let me break this to you." I said, "You gave me my greater purpose because you didn't understand my purpose."
Right.
But hey, that's a lesson. I love them.
Girls, I said failure's not the enemy.
Failure is not the enemy.
Entry fee,
It's the entry fee. We can speak on that all day.
Yeah.
But
Okay. All right. We're gonna finish it up right there. There we go.
just put that part on there. Put all those lessons. Just
Oh, yeah,
clip
yeah,
that
yeah.
video
I just
Put
one
it-
is up. Yep.
and put it on your thing.